Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we finally have a new Mattel set to look at. Something new from Mattel is pretty exciting because it's been fairly dead here in the United States for a few weeks, but luckily this Battle Damage Baryonyx set just showed up on Walmart.com the other day, so I immediately placed an order, and we've got it here to look at with you guys. The image on the front here, as far as the box art, looks really nice. You've of course got the Battle Damage logo down there in the right hand corner. You've got the Rex in the left hand corner. And then you can see pretty much everything that is included with this set right there through the see-through window. You've also got a shot here right above the Battle Damage logo of the Baryonyx and the Jurassic World logo up at the top. As far as this side, you've got a shot of the Rex there. But then when we look at the back, you've got a little demonstration there of what the action feature is for the Baryonyx. You can also see that it does show you that you can have the compies, of course, attack Owen on his motorcycle, and the small Dimorphodon that is included as well. Along with something else that's really quite interesting is down here in the corner, you can see that it advertises Battle Damage Blue, but it also advertises the Battle Damage Pteranodon, the one that is a lot more rare and hard to find here in the United States, and actually most places in general, because I believe the only place I've really heard of getting it so far has been Australia, and even there it's fairly hard to find. But the inclusion of this image down here gives me hope that maybe this will actually show up in stores sometime soon. As far as that Pteranodon, whether or not this Baryonyx set will ever show up in stores, I have no idea, but I did, as I said, order it from Walmart.com, so let's open this up and take a look at it. So as far as everything that is in fact included, we of course have Owen and his motorcycle. We also get a mini Dimorphodon, which is always fun. We get one Compsognathus, and he fell over, and two Compsognathus. So you've got two compies there who also cannot stand very well. And then you've of course got the flare, which is always pretty cool to have. You've got the vest for Owen. You've got his arm guard deals here. A helmet, a gun, a rifle to be exact. You've also got a small knife, which is a little hard to see. And then you've got whatever this little deal here is. And then, of course, the Baryonyx itself, if I can get it to stand, which it does not want to do. So, I'm not sure if this one has balancing issues. Okay, he's not going to stand. I'll just lean him there for right now. So I can definitely say straight away that this is a great value. As far as this entire set being only 20 bucks, that's pretty awesome. The Baryonyx is not the Roarivore version, even though he quite obviously does look like the Roarivore, just with a new paint scheme. However, it is the same as the Lava playset that they had released previously, just a different, again, paint scheme. It's got pretty much the exact same thing as the Roarivore, but when you push the button, he just snaps his jaws shut. He doesn't actually make the roaring noise or anything like that. But including Owen, the human character, and then a motorcycle, along with the flare and all of these little gadgets that go along with him, that is one heck of a good deal. There is a lot included here for only 20 bucks. If you think about it, the Baryonyx itself would probably run you normally about $12 to $15, I'm going to say, in that range, due to the fact that it's not a Roarivore, but still, figures of these Jurassic World toys in this size range normally would be about that price. And then you've got Owen, who himself would be about $8, but then you include the motorcycle, you're probably going to up the price to around 15 bucks, because that's usually around the range that you would see that at. And then you've also got these minifigures, which this Dimorphodon would probably be about $3 to $3.50, depending on where you get it. And then, of course, all these lovely little extras. So it really is a great deal as far as everything that's included. So, without further ado, let's get a closer look at the Baryonyx. So as far as the paint application goes, it really does look quite nice. I'm actually quite a big fan of this paint scheme. I really think that this might be potentially my favorite as far as the Baryonyx figures have gone so far when it comes to their paint apps. It's really quite beautiful. The sculpt, however, is exactly the same as the previous versions, and we've already reviewed this figure quite a few times, as this is actually the fourth. The only one that we haven't reviewed previously was the Slime Lava set, and that's just due to the fact that I really didn't want to open it and have the slime get all over the places. I really kind of wanted to keep that one closed in the box, although I may end up reviewing it at some point, who knows. But again, I really think that this paint application is one of the nicer versions. As far as what is included, you can see the eye is painted pretty nicely. It's a little off, but not by much. It's a yellow color with a black pupil. This eye over here I think looks a little bit better. The teeth are really quite nicely painted. The mouth has a beautiful gloss and a very realistic coloration as far as the inside color of the mouth goes. The teeth on the upper jaw also look really nice. As far as the primary body color, you've got this nice shade of brown. I really do quite like the brown. And then up here on the back, you can see that there's a very kind of splotchy design of some dark gray, pretty much like a pavement gray. It does look really quite nice, however, and does mesh really quite well with the brown that they've chosen here. And then up on the top of the head, you've got like a very dark yellow, almost like a dark goldish type color, which again does look really nice. It's not overly flashy, not overly bright, definitely a darker shade, something you would expect to see on a living, breathing dinosaur. And then the lower jaw is like a very light gray, and that coloration runs down to only about the chest and then disappears completely. It would have actually been pretty nice to have this throughout the entire dinosaur, but it does in fact disappear right here. It tapers off to the same coloration, that brown, that you see all over the rest of the body. Other than that, the only real difference is the inclusion of the battle damage, which is this blood feature that you have here, just kind of splotched blood in two different spots, once on the neck here, and then two little spots here on the leg and the thigh region. I'm not a big fan of this. It's kind of the same thing that you saw in the Tyrannosaurus Rex when it came to the battle damage version of that, and I didn't really like it on that one either. However, the T-Rex did have one upside to it as opposed to what you see on the Baryonyx, and that was that the paint was glossy, and you don't see that here. The blood paint edition here is really not glossy at all. It actually just looks pretty much like everything else. So that's a little bit of a downside. It does take away from the realism of the figure and kind of doesn't make it really look too much like blood. But at the same time, it still looks okay, and I'm not totally against it or anything. I just feel like it could have been a good bit nicer had they at least included a gloss on the red paint that's insinuating that it is in fact blood. But other than that, I really am a big fan of this Baryonyx, and I definitely do like it. If you are looking for the Jurassic Facts app code, if it would focus, there you go. There is that. Of course, there are no painted nails, which is something that we're just completely accustomed to when it comes to Mattel figures. But again, it does still look really quite beautiful as far as a Baryonyx Mattel figure goes. Then you've of course got the two compy figures, which these are really quite nice, especially considering that they are in kind of an attacking pose that you can attach them to the human figures. They are pretty fun. My favorite compy was the one that was in the Destructosaurus set, so these ones aren't really the best out of all the Mattel compies, but they're still not bad if it would focus on them. There you go, you can see he looks pretty decent. They're a little bit fun, and it is cool to be able to attach them again to the human characters and give that effect of them attacking and kind of taking down their human prey. But again, they're not that bad. The Dimorphodon is definitely a very nice figure. I am a big fan of the Mattel minifigures, so this Dimorphodon is really quite beautiful. I don't recall if this is the same color that we had when it came to any of the ones previously. I don't think it is. I think this grayish version is new, but I could be wrong. Unfortunately, it has no paint at all, not even painted eyes. When it comes to the coloration, it's just that gray, which is, again, a little bit of a downside, but it is what it is. And then, of course, you've got Owen and his motorcycle. The motorcycle does look really quite nice, actually, as does Owen. I definitely like the Owen figures. I think the likeness of him when it comes to actually looking like Chris Pratt is really quite well done, and the motorcycle itself does look really cool. It's a very cool addition to an already awesome set. As far as anything that is different in this set in comparison to anything that has previously been released, with Owen, I don't believe we had the helmet before. I believe the helmet is new. I also think Ed Leiden, I believe would be how you say his name, I could be wrong, but he stated that you can see that there is a slight color difference between the hair of the current Owen and the previous Owen, along with the arm gauntlets being painted on the previous version and unpainted on this newer version. So there are a few slight differences as far as this figure goes and previous versions. And then of course the motorcycle of Owen is also new. I believe the rifle is also new. And then again, I said the helmet. And of course the Baryonyx is all new, even though the sculpt is not, but the new paint scheme and the addition of the battle damage is in fact new. One thing that is actually quite cool about this set, however, is if you look here, the box that is included with the inside is pretty much an incredible Jurassic Park or Jurassic World style backdrop that you can use for images. So that is awesome, that's for sure. As far as the size goes, we're not going to measure these, as we have definitely measured the Baryonyx in the past, but I will bring in the Papo T-Rex and give you an idea of everything as far as the size goes in comparison to the Papo Rex, as we've seen this guy numerous times in other reviews, so we should have an idea now as far as the size comparison goes. But you can also tell by these minis, as most people have these minis by now if you're a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World fan, so you should be able to tell again what the size is in comparison to these other figures. So it's definitely not the most exciting playset. I definitely would have rathered something a little more creative, similar to the lava set that we had previously with the other Baryonyx. When I found out that we were going to be getting a battle damage playset, I was really quite excited for the potential of what they could have included. However, as far as a playset goes, it's really just a whole bunch of figures included and some random accessories that they could decide to throw in, I guess, like the compies and the weapons and everything. But as far as a deal goes, this is a steal of a deal when it comes to just how much you do get included. There is a lot included. Like I had stated at the beginning of the review, as far as whether or not it is worth the price, it is beyond worth the price of admission for these figures to be all included in one set. And you do get this awesome new Baryonyx, even though there's a little bit of a downside as far as the paint not really looking very glossy. I mean, it kind of has a slight shine to it, but then again, so does the rest of the figure. But it does still look really cool as far as the Baryonyx goes. You get an awesome Owen motorcycle along with lots of little extras when it comes to the Owen figure. And you also get some minifigures as far as the compies and the Dimorphodon goes. So overall, the set is really quite awesome, just not quite as awesome as I was hoping it would be before we had found out what in fact was going to be included. I would have rathered something a little more creative, as I said before, as far as a playset goes, but this is still really awesome, and as far as the price goes, it is a great deal. So if you do want to pick this up, I will include a link in the description to purchase this on Walmart.com, as long as it is still in stock. So make sure you head on over there, buy this very cool Baryonyx playset from Mattel, but before you do that, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.